Welcome to the United Man. My name is Shane. Just had to do a quick stream because I've got some concerns in regards to what we're actually doing with relation to trying to actually sign players. Now, the reason I say that is because I've mentioned before the fact that the likes of Borussia Dortmund, who's obviously picked us to Erling Haaland. Obviously, they'd already seen him before the transfer window opened and got a deal agreed. Now, I'm just asking the question, why are we not doing that? Now, we're hearing Ollie saying, right, we need to ascertain who we're going to get. We're only going to sign the right player if it's the right fit. We're basically saying that he's just not going to sign players willy-nilly, which I agree with. That's fine. But what I don't agree with is the fact that we've got how many scouts, hundreds of scouts in and around the world, this country, and we haven't come to a definitive decision as to whether or not we know what player we want or need right now. So for me, I'm very, 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 very annoyed at that fact because I'm thinking to myself, the amount of resources we have in terms of financial resources, the reputation that we carry, and the contacts that we have, you're telling me that we don't already have in place who we're going to go for. And that, for me, is very, very worrying. And that's just not just with Ollie, that's the club as a whole. So we've got experienced people at the club as well, not forgetting. Obviously, Mike Feeney's been there for, well, he's been doing the job for a long time. But for me, we need to be like, okay, we've got to have a system in place already. Obviously, that much is obvious, but I just don't get why we're going into the transfer window and we don't know who we're going for. We know there's players that we need. We know the positions that we need to strengthen, but we're going into the transfer window not knowing who we're going to get. It makes zero sense to me. And for me, that really peeves me because I'm thinking to myself, are we going to go into the transfer window doing the exact same thing again that we've done beforehand? And that seems to be the case. We're going into this transfer window with no clue of who we're going to sign or when we're going to sign them. And we're going to try and wait till the very end of the we need players now. We need to be knowing who we're going to sign, not waiting till the 29th of January to say, yeah, we need such and such player. Really, really does my head in that we're not learning our lessons as a club. So for me, I'm thinking to myself, okay, so you can see Borussia Dortmund now. Again, they've done it in the summer. Before the transfer, bearing in mind our window opens up, I keep saying it, 2 weeks before the rest of Europe's, and then Borussia Dortmund, their window opens and they get their Hazard's younger brother, Julian Brand. I'm just thinking to myself, look, man, we need to sort this out quick. It's just ridiculous. And then when it comes round to the transfer window being open, we're then being linked with people like, I don't know, Sean Longstaff or whoever. You know, with all due respect to the guy, he's a professional footballer, but with all due respect, he's not what Manchester United need. And I'm thinking to myself, why are we in this position again? We're again, for me, do your business like Liverpool's done already. Liverpool's already signed a player from Salzburg as well. So I'm thinking, why are we leaving it until the window's open? And then now we're saying, oh, we need to make sure that the player's right. You've had since the last transfer window closed to the 31st of December to decide who you want. Now we're hearing that this many scout reports on this player. I don't care. Make a bloody decision on who you want, and then get the deals done in place, and then you can officially announce it when the transfer window opens, like any good organised club would do. It's so frustrating that we're in this position again and again and again. It feels like this has been the same way that we're operating. And I'm like, are we not learning? Are we that thick that we cannot really understand how we're supposed to be operating? And now, Pogba's injured and now McTominay's injured. What are we going to do? I'm like, come on, man. You make plans for these things. You know, you was a professional footballer. Half of our backroom staff played football themselves. So they all know, even if they didn't, common sense would teach you. Injuries happen. Form drops. It's just, I'm just at a loss because I really don't understand. What are we trying to do here? Likewise with how we play now. We in pre-season we look really good. When we first started, we looked really good. It was high pressing every single game. First half an hour, pressing, high press. And now we just in between. it's just so frustrating. And I'm thinking to myself, well, okay, if I can come up with, let's say, I don't know, a dozen players, just picking a number out this guy, where I can say, right, we need two central midfielders. So I've come up with a list. We need a striker as well, but it's not as urgent as central midfield. So I've been able to come up with a list myself, and I know some of these guys' contract situations myself. So how is it I can come up with this list, who has no idea about running a professional football club? This is the list I've come up with. Tell me what you think about these players. Christian Eriksen, his contract runs out this summer. Now, we can't. Teams outside of Premier League can sign him to a pre-agreed contract, thus making his value very, very well, much more diminished than it otherwise would have been. So we could go and deal with him. Christian Eriksen, hearing whispers of him, well, Inter Milan making contact with him, Bayern Munich, Juventus. Why are we not trying to do a deal here? Pay 20 million, 30 million, get him on our books, man. What are we too good? Ruben Neves, okay. This one may be a bit difficult because obviously he's playing in the same league as us at the moment. But I know Wolves don't have to sell. They're not a selling club. I know this. However, put down, I don't know, 55, 60 mil, test their resolve. Okay, Bruno Fernandes, Ruben Neves, we want you. Wolves, 60 mil, 55 mil. Let's test the resolve, see what we get. Adrian Rabiot, who Juventus got on a free last summer. They signed him last January on a free. And I'm like, come on, man. Why are we not signing these types of players? Now, Arteta's gone to Arsenal. Now he's looking at signing Adrian Rabiot himself. These are the types of players that we need to be bringing into our team to make the difference. So that's so far. Christian Eriksen, Ruben Neves, Adrian Rabiot, Marco Verratti, PSG whiz. Now, I've been banging the Marco Verratti drum for the longest while. I don't mention it too often because there's not been any speculation surrounding him. There's not been any talk about us getting him. But he's another quality midfielder. When we played against PSG last time, he was one of the standout players. On the ball, fantastic. His ball distribution, fantastic. His creativity and vision, fantastic. Why are we not looking at these types of players? We know now. I understand that the attraction isn't there anymore as much as it would have been, but we're going to have to pay through the nose now. We have to accept that. I'll put down Jeffrey Kondogbia, who's at Valencia. Beast in the central midfield, very physically gifted, technically very gifted as well. He's a box-to-box, a true box-to-box number 8 central midfielder as well. James Maddison, again, that's a difficult one. That's probably one that's going to happen, if it happens, more likely to happen in the summer. Bruno Fernandes, I don't know what's happened with this guy, but the guy's doing the exact same things this season that he done last season, and we're just ignoring him. Now, we don't need him. We're too good to sign that type of player. He wants to come to England. He wants to leave Sporting. He's ready to leave. It was in the end, it was Tottenham that were taking the initiative and trying to push the deal through. They were the ones closest to actually getting the deal done, but yet we're not doing a thing. What are we doing? So anyway, that's one deal we could get done in January. Wilfred Ndidi as well. He's at Leicester as well. Again, a deal that's probably more likely to happen in summer. But I want to see these things happening. If we can't get something done, you can actually sign players outside of the transfer window. You can make the deals. Well, you can sign a player unofficially, but then you can announce it officially when the transfer window opens. So why are we not doing these things? I just don't understand the position that we're in now. It just seems farcical that we're not making these things happen. But yeah, and then I put down a couple of strikers. Edinson Cavani, his contract runs out in the summer as well. We could get him on a cheap off PSG. They've already got Icardi on loan from Inter. They're going to look to make the deal permanent. These are deals we can do. Timo Werner as well, I'll put down as well. Let's go to the comments, guys. I've just been running long enough. Raymond Moore says, Ollie said we want right players at the right price. Absolutely bullshit. Yeah, I agree with that. Who cares about the price? We need midfielders desperately. Couldn't have said it better myself, Raymond. Jonathan Reed, I honestly don't think we will sign anyone this month. The players linked are more squad players that we don't need. We need ready-made quality, not championship players. This cracks me up. Me too, Jonathan. Honestly, mate, I'm on the same wavelength there, mate. It's I've had to go online stream now to vent my frustration because it's ridiculous that the position that we're in now. Again, we're in the same position again that we've been in how many transfer windows now since Fergie's left? So I'm just fed up of it, and I've had to come in here because I'm looking at stuff and reading reports. I'm like, do you know what? I need to really vent how I'm feeling on this subject matter because it just seems like nothing's going to change. That's what I'm getting at as well. Francis said, "This is a long time. How you doing, brother? Long time no see, man. Good to see you." Uh, Football fan fever, Danny, my boy, says, well said. It makes me very worried that we still link with Longstaff. Shocking. Yeah, so I mentioned him, Danny, mate. And Danny, for you guys that don't know, Danny does all my graphics as well. Yeah, good guy. Go and check out his channel as well, Football Fan Fever. Yeah, shocking. We're linked with Longstaff. Listen, I'm not naive enough to believe, and you guys aren't either, that everyone we're linked with, we are truly linked with. But the point is, we're not making moves. We're not actually doing anything right now. We're not making stuff happen. So for me, the very fact that we're linked with these types of players. So, for example, we're linked with Marco Verratti, we're linked with Adrian Rabiot, we're linked with Bruno Fernandes, just those guys, yeah, top echelon players. You can deal with that. But when you've been linked with Sean Longstaff or what's his name, Todd Cantwell from Norwich. He's a younger lad. He seems okay, but again, we need to be looking at top quality. We've got the young upcoming players in the squad already, filling up our starting 11. We do not need that anymore. We have to be looking at signing players that are going to come into the starting lineup and make a real difference in terms of quality. And it's central midfielders. I've just got, how many midfielders is that now? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 central midfielders. Edison Cavani and Timo Werner making up a couple of striking options there. Those deals, both of those, by the way, the striking options, Timo Werner and Edison Cavani, I believe we can do in January because, like I said, Cavani's contract's running out in the summer, so he'll be going on a free. So we can actually sign him on a pre-contract agreement already now because we're outside of his league. Timo Werner just need to pay the cash. Go back to the comments. Raymond Moore, why are we being frugal when United is amongst the richest clubs in the world? Great point. There's absolutely no need to be penny pinching here. And listen, I know Woodward has his job and he steals from the club very well. He's doing his job very, very well and stealing money from the club and penny pinching on each transfer deal. He's doing his job absolutely fantastically well. Hence why we need a director of football in place, where we've got a go between Ollie and Ed Woodward or Ed Deadwood, which he's been alluded to as well. Because I really do feel like Ollie's a bit of a yes man as well, in all honesty. Now, for me, if you had Keno, listen, I'm not trying to say I want Roy Keane as the manager, but if you had Keno as a Manchester United manager, he wouldn't be taking that. If you had Ryan Giggs as manager, he wouldn't be taking that. He commands too much respect. Don't forget, Ollie is a nice guy. That's his nature. So yeah, for me, Ollie's a bit of a yes man, and we're paying for it because he's coming out and saying stuff that Ed Woodward, I guarantee, would have been saying to him. One hand is Ollie's saying, yeah, we need to sign 1 or 2 players. We're in for 1 or 2 players, but we'll only go for the right players. What do you mean? So that means you've only just started looking at players? Anyway, Jonathan Reed says, we are disgracing the shambles of a club. We really are at the moment. And it's so frustrating that we're in this position right now because right now, it's like Groundhog Day. We're doing the exact same thing that we've done time and time again. It just makes zero sense. We're not learning from our mistakes. The amount of people at the club, listen, I'm not going to try and say it's easy to get a transfer deal done. I'm not saying that. But surely, if you can identify a player in the summer that you wanted, it didn't get, but yet it's still available, or there's an option of buying him still, you'd work from September through to November, then to December to wrap the deal up. And then when the transfer window opens, you then confirm it. Like Liverpool's done, like Dortmund's done, like Juventus has done, like Bayern Munich have done. Why are we not doing that? Anyway, Jonathan Reed says, Verratti perfect. Yeah, that you're right. He's not at Real Madrid. He's one of those players, Verratti. Listen, if I had one player, one central midfielder to pick, he'd be my pick. He's small in stature, but he's got that bite. He's got that fire. And maybe because he's small, but he has that fire and that bite in him. And technical ability is second to none. Passing ability is second to none. Work rate is second to none. For me, there's the types of players that we need, and I don't know why we're not going for them. Renwall says, if United still managed by Fergie, none of these linked players will be signed by him. Absolute mockery to our club. And it really is, Raymond. It really, really is, mate. I just feel like, I know I've already said it, it's like Groundhog Day. Okay. The definition of insanity, this is by Einstein, as you all know, is by doing the same thing over and over and again and expecting a different result. That definition of insanity. But yeah, we don't seem to care. We don't seem to care about that. We're just doing same old crap again, same old rubbish again, getting the same results. We want these players. We certainly are interested in these players, but because we keep operating in the exact same context, nothing changes. That must mean we're stupid or incompetent or both. But either way, someone in the club has to take a stance or stand. And ultimately, I think that's why Jose Mourinho became heavily disillusioned. Not forgetting he wanted to sign Harry Maguire the season before. But obviously, someone talked him out of it. Sorry, not talked him out of it, said no. I believe, like I said, I know Pogba's come out and said he wants to leave. I believe there is no one player bigger than the club, but I also believe Pogba was sold a dream and we've not fulfilled our end of the bargain. So then, if we're only looking at young players who have the potential to be great, but aren't great right now, how are we going to keep hold of our best players? How are we going to attract players? We're not going to be able to. Hence why, so like I was speaking to my mate Terry, you're saying, look, at the moment we're having to be patient. We have no choice but to be patient because we're not able to attract those big names at the moment, it would seem. So we're going to have to go for the top potential around the country, and he was absolutely right. But the problem is we've just missed out on Erling Haaland, who I know Ollie wanted. I know for a fact Ollie wanted him, but we didn't guarantee him a first team starting role, which I said in the interim anyway was a bit of a banana skin because that ultimately may oust Martial, so they didn't want to basically agree that. So I'll go back to the comments anyway. Jonathan McDonald says, we won't sign anyone. I think by the start of next season, the club will be sold. And if we don't sign anyone, that means the Glazers are ready to sell. Please, God, they're the trouble. You know what, John, that's a brilliant point. Now, I read something in the summer saying that we're signing players up to long-term contracts so that the value of them isn't diminished. So if the Glazers were to sell the club, because we've got everyone in these long-term contracts, the value of the squad, it doesn't diminish at all, because obviously if you had loads of people on 12-month contracts and it's due to run out, then you can't add their value onto the club. You can't then say, yeah, we can sell Chris Smalling for 30 mil because his contract's going to run out in 6 months or in 12 months time. So they've been signing everyone up to these contracts, Phil Jones, included, because if there was potential to sell, they can, and these guys are all part of the value. So that was a very good point there, John. Terry says, Shane, 100% agree with you with what you're saying. Nah, it's just frustrating now, because I'm just, like you hit that wall and you're like, what, I've had enough now, because it's just ridiculous that the fact that we're coming across the same thing over and over and over again. Like, as I said, we're either inconsistent or incompetent, stupid, or both. I'd say both. Terry Week says we need to bring in someone to provide a spark on the pitch. We made David Luiz look like a class defender almost. That's a good point. And yeah, it's true. David Luiz has been a weak link all season for Arsenal, but then we play him and, he's made to look like Paolo Maldini. It's a load of rubbish, man. Full Fan Fever says no one can blame Pogba for wanting to leave. I agree with that, Danny, to be honest, mate, because as I said, we sold him a promise, not forgetting we said, yeah, we're on the up, yeah, we unite, we're going to get back to greatness. And then 3 years down the line, who have we brought along to help Pogba? Now, Mino Raiola's come out and said, to get the best out of Pogba, you need to have a system, which we don't. Pogba needs help, which we've not supplied him with. And I'm pretty sure there was some of the promises that we sold to Pogba. Yeah, we're going to be this, we're going to do that. In the beginning, it looked all good. We brought in Ibrahimovic, Mkhitaryan. Pogba, it looked all good. But then I believe it's because we've gone a different direction with Ollie now, and Ollie saying he only wants young players, which aren't for the now. They're for 10 years down the line. Raymore says, just sign 2 midfielders. I don't care anyone anymore. Yeah, midfielders dying. You know what, Raymond? It's true. Well, we're dead. I generally feel like we're dead. And the fact that we've now lost McTominay and Pogba again for extended periods, just it's almost like a blessing in disguise, because we were not looking to do any business. Well, we were very reluctant to do business in January, because I kept hearing Ollie say, they're getting the right players in January. It's really, really hard, really, really hard. But then come summertime, Pogba's contract runs out in 12 months. So fast forward 6 months. At that point in time, Pogba will only have 12 months left on his contract. So either have to sell then, or he doesn't sell another contract. Sign another contract, and then he goes on a free in a year's time. So it really is. It's so annoying and so frustrating that we're in this position again. In, for example, the summer, we had the opportunity to sign Paulo Dybala. We went against it because he's asking for £300,000 a week. Probably the goal bonuses, appearance bonuses was astronomical as well. But like yourselves, I don't care. Glazers themselves, along with Woodward, have put us in this position. So now they should be the ones having to pay through the nose because of it. But I just don't know if they're... Listen, now, what was it? A net spend over the summer of 30 mil because of the sale of Lukaku and all that jazz? 30 mil. We brought in Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire and Daniel James, and we got a net spend of 30 mil. A club like us, come on, man. Jonathan Reed, every United fan has the same players the club should be going for, and the club don't see these players, or don't want to see, as they're miserable gits who just take out of the club and not interested on the pitch. You know what? It's a great point, Jonathan. So that's the other thing. We should be signing players. You know who's a Man United fan? James Maddison. Just saying. Like you say though, the players that are here, the whole inconsistency thing, that's part of the issue, because we only have young players at the team. We don't have those experienced players in the team. So you're going to get inconsistencies. You don't have the players that can, put their arm around their shoulder, or give them a kick up the backside, or put them on a straight and narrow, because we don't have that in the side. So, yeah, it's just so frustrating at the moment. And I'm just, I just had to vent. Appreciate you joining me, guys. I just had to vent because I'm just disillusioned at the moment, I think is the right word to use. But yeah, let's see. Anyway, I'll still see. Oh, Jonathan said, I've supported United since the crash, and the club is rotten from top to bottom. We need a change. Yes, we do. We really do need a change, mate. And is it going to come? The Glazers make tons of money off us. They make, just tons of money. They're just used as a cash cow at the moment to fund other businesses that they have, I'm sure. So yeah, it's frustrating. But yeah, we'll see. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Thanks a lot for joining me, and I shall see you soon. Before I go, Raymond says Woodward and Glazers need to realise United is not some kind of company like Apple. This is a football club. Very well said, Raymond, mate. I'll be putting some information on Twitter about that as well, actually. So yeah, I'll catch you soon. Take care, guys. Thanks for joining me. See you soon.